It's that time of year where parks are starting to announce their plans for 2025 because we're getting close to the end of the summer. And one park in Virginia has shared that their newest attraction is going to fly right in. We'll take a look at this attraction and talk about an experience that you could add with it as we discuss a new way to coast with culture. Hey everybody, this is Gary from Coasting with Culture, and I want to take a moment to thank you for checking out this new series that I'm trying out on the channel, A New Way to Coast with Culture. A lot of different channels take time to talk about the newest coasters coming to various parks around the world and around the country, and I thought it'd be kind of fun to do so, but add a little bit of a twist, because in true Coasting with Culture style, we also want to highlight some great things to see and do when visiting these different parks. And with each look at a new ride that's coming up for the 2025 season, I'm going to add in an attraction or an experience that I myself have not had in the area of that park. Now, of course, if you want to share your thoughts on the new coaster that's coming up, as well as the attraction that's shared in this video, by all means, please share your thoughts in the comment section below. I'd love to find out what you think about either one. And that's going to bring us to today's topic, which is Rapterra, coming to King's Dominion in 2025. Rapterra is a wing coaster that's going to have a launch very similar to that of Thunderbird at Holiday World, and it's going into the Jungle X-pedition area of King's Dominion. One thing that really stands out to me is that this ride is completely sprawled out over the Jungle X-pedition area. It soars above the people exploring that land. The ride itself, looking at the layout, I really do think that first element's going to be kind of interesting, especially being on the seats on the left, where you're going to be at the highest point going over the crest of it. I'm curious to see how you might kind of have a little bit of a yanking back down coming down the other side. I enjoyed Thunderbird when I rode it in 2018, and so I'm pretty sure this is going to be a pretty solid ride. I don't know if I would say that it's going to take over the top spot in the park. To me, that's probably still going to be Intimidator 305 or Twisted Timbers. I think those two are still going to be your 1-2 punch. I do see the opportunity, though, where Rapterra could become that number 3 coaster for the park. Maybe number 4, depending on if there's a ride that you like a bit better. Now, that's not to be a knock against Rapterra, because it's looking like a pretty good ride. It's just going to have a hard time living up to the incredible intensity of Intimidator 305, or with the incredible airtime that you get from Twisted Timbers. I love the fact that they finally put something in this area in the park that kind of fills the gap that was left behind when Volcano was taken out. It was kind of weird to go back there in 2022 before Stumble 325 and just seeing this kind of void that had been left behind with the mountain torn down. If there was one thing that I do kind of wish they had done differently, a part of me, just for nostalgia's sake, would have loved to have seen them stick with a theme that was based off of Volcano. You know, maybe you say that it was a crater instead, or maybe it's a caldera, and then the launch comes out from like a geyser type of setup, so you don't have to build as large of a mountain. But that's just kind of a nitpicky thing on my part. A little bit of nostalgia, if you will. Just something I would have liked, personally. But I do think this is a good coaster for the park. I think it's going to be one that the general public is going to adore, because it's not going to have the same intensity that scares away some folks on Intimidator 305. For coaster enthusiasts, though, I still think 3 is probably going to be the best spot it'll have. And to kind of continue with the bird theme for the culture stop that I would make on a visit to go and check out Rapterra, I might go to the Poe Museum. This is a museum dedicated to the famous poet Edgar Allen Poe, who had written The Raven. Now, this museum is located in a building in downtown Richmond, Virginia that's called the Old Stone House. Now, Edgar Allen Poe had never lived in this house. However, he did have a connection to it because there was a point when he was a part of a local honor guard that was responsible for escorting Marquis de Lafayette around Richmond. And Lafayette had actually stayed in this house before. So it's kind of fitting that this building would be used to showcase the life and times of Edgar Allan Poe. It has one of the biggest collections of memorabilia and writings from the famous poet. But I think it could make for a great trip. You know, you head up to Virginia, you get a chance to check out Rapterra, and then the next day you go and see the Edgar Allan Poe Museum. So it could be a nice little weekend getaway in the early season, or maybe it's part of a longer trip they have in Virginia. So what are your thoughts about Rapterra? Have you been to the Edgar Allan Poe Museum? Please feel free to share any thoughts that you have about either of these two experiences in the comment section below. Also, if you happen to be a resident of the Richmond, Virginia area, or not too far away from King's Dominion, and there's things that you think people should check out to go along with their visit to King's Dominion, share that with us as well. I'd love to hear about your ideas of things people should try out, whether it's restaurants, music venues, things like that. Would absolutely love to get some ideas. So that's going to kind of wrap up this look at Rapterra and a little bit of a discussion of interest in going into the Edgar Allan Poe Museum. I certainly hope that you guys enjoyed this video, and there'll be more to come in future videos because announcement season has just gotten underway. Several other rides have been announced, and we'll get a chance to talk about those as we look for new ways to coast with culture. Thank you for watching this video from Coasting with Culture. If you enjoyed it, please give it a thumbs up and click on the subscribe button to see future videos here on YouTube, like these ones which you may enjoy as well. Additional content can be found at coastingwithculture.com, and you can also follow Coasting with Culture on various social media channels at CoastWCulture for announcements, previews, and updates. Thanks again for watching, and until next time, take care and safe travels.